I say to her, the only thing I can say to her in the circumstances, I say to her, Margaret Thatcher's dead. And she says to me, Margaret Thatcher's alive? And the guy behind who wants his coffee says, apparently not anymore. So I get my coffee and I'm like, wow, what does this mean? What does this mean? Margaret Thatcher is dead. So I go on my Facebook page and it's like, Calgary is like 7 hours after London. And people are saying, you know, where's Billy? What I think, you know, if I don't post something on Facebook now, people will think I'm dead as well. So obviously I haven't even had my coffee. I can't think of some, you know, mind-expanding thing to say. So I just say, I'm in Calgary, Alberta, it's snowing. I'm going out to buy some cowboy shirts because my album had just got into the Americana charts and I thought I better buy some cowboy shirts and some pointy boots. So I looked the part. I'm going to buy some cowboy shirts and Margaret Thatcher is dead. And I just post this and just forget about it. But before I leave, I have to go back to the girl at the counter and I have to say to her, there's something you've got to do. You see, something you've got to do for me, please, as a human being. And she says, what, you want an extra shot in your cup? No. Cappuccino is fine, but I need you to tell me the news from England. Pointing at my email, and she looks at it. I said, yeah, I know it, but I need you to tell me. I need to hear. You have to tell me. So she said, okay. So she said, Margaret Thatcher's dead. I said, yes! And that was okay. And I got it out of my system and everything was fine. The rest of the day, I went to buy some cowboy shirts. The people in the cowboy shop were all from England. They were happy too. But that night, on the website of the Calgary Herald, on the website there was a headline, Billy Bragg reflects on the death of Margaret Thatcher while shopping for cowboy shirts in Calgary. They say that in the new media, an angle is everything. And I guess that explains it. But being in the United States of America and Canada, you know, they were both, you know, people wanted to speak to me. First, American Broadcasting, ABC rang me up for a comment. And then BBC rang me up for a comment. And then CBC, Canadian Broadcasting, rang me up. So I thought, I'm going to switch off my phone before Danish Broadcasting ring me up. And it was just one of those days. But all over the news in Canada, Canada has a conservative government that is very Thatcherite, and the Americans loved Margaret Thatcher. They loved her. You'd think she invented baseball. They loved her so much. So I had to hear nothing but the news saying how great Margaret Thatcher was. And I just said to my audiences, you know, in my country we believe that she was a person who put people apart, divisive, we thought, not great. And if you ask yourself what she was, just remind you how she was thrown out of power, not by the British people, but by her own colleagues in government, who came to the same conclusion that the rest of us had come to years before, that she was the most divisive Prime Minister that Britain has ever had. I was a miner, I was a talker, I was a rival between the wars. I raised a family in time of austerity with sweat at the foundry between the wars. I paid the union, and as times got I look to the government to help the working man, but they brought prosperity down in the armory. We're arming for peace, my boys, between the walls. I kept the faith, and I kept voting, not for the iron fist, but for the helping hand. For this is a land with a wall around it. Mine is a faith, my fellow man. This is a land of hope and glory. Mine is the greenfield and the factory floor. These are the skies of dark with bombers, and mine is the peace within between the walls. Call up the craftsman, bring me the draftsman, build me a path from cradle to grave, and I'll give my consent to any government that does not deny man the living wage. Go find a young man, never to fight again. Bring up the banners from the days gone by. Sweet moderation, heart of this nation, desert us not, we are between the